Hello and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue.
That's my bad jingle bells.
I'm here today with two frosty snowmen.
Oh, we're so
Colin
buff. We're ripped.
Colin Cunningham. Oh, my abs. They're so painful.
I've been cutting them with, what is that, like ice freezing? That's a thing, right? To like cut fat or something like that?
Ah, sure. Oh, yeah.
Like an ice bath?
No.
There's like a technology. I see it in like horrifying stock image on the side of like
it's like
surgery places.
cryo freezing
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. But then it does the reverse. It's supposed to shrink fat cells, but then it actually does the reverse. It like doubles them. So like
Does it?
Yeah, you're in some cases like your thighs become like huge.
Massive.
So it could make your thigh thin, or it could make them gigantic.
Exactly.
You're rolling the dice.
Roll the dice.
So if you can't tell, we're talking about Hot Frosty, the
man.
new Netflix movie starring Lacey Chabert.
It's taken Lacey Chabert.
Is it Chabert or I always wanted to
Lacey Chabert.
I always wanted to do the French pronunciation.
Yeah, it's you and Justin.
Okay.
Lacey Chabert.
So I have to say that this may be a controversial pick for me to discuss because maybe Colin has something to jump into, but I have interviewed this director face to face for like special features of a Blu-ray.
Really?
It's not Fred
Yep.
Olin Ray, is it?
No.
Nope. It's I'm going to say his name wrong.
Jerry Chichariti.
Yeah, Chichariti, and he directed a film called Psycho Girls that Vinegar Syndrome put out, which is a Canadian cult classic. And I interviewed him in his home about the movie. Very nice guy. He talked about some projects that he wanted to do, and I was like, wow, I will be very surprised if we can get off that, like real like adaptations of like real popular like underground comics that he wanted to do.
How did you get to do this interview?
Vinegar Syndrome reached out and they said, hey, you're in Toronto. We don't know anyone in Toronto. Can you just interview him?
Oh,
And I
that's
went, "Okay."
great. So has the Blu-ray come out yet?
Oh,
or-
yeah, it's available. I'm not on the Blu-ray. It's like literally him just answering questions and I was off screen.
Oh, he did.
cool.
He did that Trudeau movie with
I haven't
With
seen that one.
Colm Feore?
Colm Feore.
I
yeah.
saw that in high school history class.
I always like saw the trailer.
It's a
for
made
it
for
on
TV. Wait, wasn't it a miniseries?
Wait, I have something here. Colin, he directed Tech War, Tech Justice.
No.
Is that like
pilot.
again? Oh, so it's
No,
the pilot or made for
really?
TV or?
Yeah, I think that's probably the pilot. It says 100 minutes. So,
Oh man.
So that's
And
the first job Colin had, right?
Well, I did work on it slightly.
Slightly.
Maybe you were in the
Wow.
room with him too. I'm looking here. Isn't that like the sad, future of any Canadian director who makes it like a job? Is that you're trapped in TV hell after a certain point?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember when I was working at Core and we did the Cube movie with Vincenzo Natali, and he had got like stuck in kind of TV for a while. It was like,
Oh yeah.
John Woo's Once a Thief.
Oh, he was directing that?
Yeah. It was way back when, but then he was still directing. He was doing like a lot of Hannibal, the TV show.
I
Just
saw
really
I
good.
saw
He was
him
involved in that.
saw him speak at the review recently for the
Yeah.
Cube anniversary screening.
You can't walk down the street in Toronto without Vincenzo coming at you.
Oh, it's like Guillermo del Toro, Vincenzo. He's like,
Maddie Matheson.
get away
and-
from me. He's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, Guillermo del Toro did produce Splice for Vincenzo Natali.
Yeah,
so,
they're buds. Well, they did a thing at
that's
the
right.
review where
Vincenzo is now in the he was in like the Netflix mines for a while.
That's
He did
right.
that
yeah,
But he was in the
on
Cabinet of
Stephen
Curiosities.
King film no one liked, or Joe Hill adaptation
Oh, in the Tall Grass.
in the Tall Grass.
I liked it.
It was pretty good. It was
all right.
okay. He also did the Vincenzo.
Graveyard Rats.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's the
Sorry.
cabinet.
I like that one.
Guillermo del Toro's. A lot of good ones in the Cabinet of Curiosities. Okay, half.
But
Cabinet.
I was just gonna say at the local cinema they did a Crimson Peak screening with Guillermo and.
Oh, did you go?
No, I think I was busy. But Vincenzo did the Q&A, like he was interviewing.
right.
But no,
man.
I went to the Cube screening with him and Andrei Bzharev.
I'm sorry, what was that?
What
was that?
The cinematographer?
No, I think it was the co-writer. Co-writer,
The director
Cube.
of
Anyway,
Cradle to the Grave?
why are we talking about Cube? Hot Frosty.
Wait, I just want to say, Vincenzo also directed the Stand reboot that does not exist, that nobody watched.
No, I think
it's
he
really
just
bad.
did like 1 or 2 episodes.
No, I know. He directed a few episodes, but
Dude,
man,
that sucks.
That was
I know everyone says it was
terrible.
terrible. Oh yeah, I saw you watched all of it, Colin. I see it here on Letterboxd.
Well, because
Yeah.
I never watched the original. And I've
Yeah,
never
Oh,
read
the original's where it's
so
at.
good, and Colin
Well-
refuses to watch it.
what is it, like Mick?
So good as a
What's his name? Mick Garris?
Mick Garris, and
Oh, I love
good.
Mick Garris.
My parents,
Stinktown.
they also. I might read that book someday, but my parents we watched that together as a family. And they're gonna be surprised to learn that you refuse to watch it. Gary Sinise, Molly Shannon. Anyway, sorry, not Molly Shannon.
I
Molly
started
Ringwald.
watching it. I tried watching it, and it was just so bad. You know when I get the '90s TV series Stink, and it's just like,
yeah, that Mick
has a
Garris's
time and a
whole
place.
filmography has that.
just the worst.
Quicksilver Highway. I remember watching that as a kid, and that's scaring the shit out of me.
All he does though,
Thinner was-
Mick Garris, I'm sure he's a lovely.
Oh, people love him. He's the best.
He's
he
a
did,
lovely man.
Masters of Horror.
But mostly what he does is just host Q&As.
I'm just saying,
with horror directors.
if you gave the original Stand from the '90s more of a chance, you might like it.
I don't know.
It's bad, April, but
No,
it's a fun
not.
bad.
Rob Lowe.
Oh, great.
Oh, Rob Lowe playing a mute, I believe.
Oh,
That's
no.
right.
He's Simple Jack.
He's
I
a deaf
think
mute.
He's been suspended. No.
No. He's he might be wearing overalls.
Yeah, I think
I'm
he's
just
wearing
thinking
overalls.
about him walking through that cornfield.
I think The Stand is a perfect Christmas watch to put on in the background when you're
Okay.
at April's. Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, the new one fucking
And it had no
sucked.
reason to be that. Like, it wasn't. Like,
It was so bad.
It kept failing its own premise. Anyway, I don't know.
I just
why we're
don't
talking
like
about it.
Alexander Skarsgård. I do not like him.
I forgot he was the bad guy.
Yeah, I don't like him as an
Randall
actor.
Flagg.
He was so unmemorable, I guess.
God, he's
and then
just-
Whoopi Goldberg, whom I love, also terrible in it.
Guinan?
Guinan, yeah.
That was
but,
cursed
yeah.
by the director of The Fault in Our Stars because he was like the showrunner on that. He's the one who pushed it.
Yeah, and like James Marsden
Josh Boone.
plays.
Oh, the director of The New Mutants. That's right.
Oh God, that's right.
Don't get me started on that. But yeah, so you were talking about TV movies, Justin, and really, Hot Frosty is a TV.
Well, it's a
movie.
Netflix film,
Like
yeah.
that's the new TV movie.
Yeah.
This is never going to be playing in a theater.
This is
and
sweet.
also
This should get the 2-week run in the theater, so it qualifies for Oscars.
this is like.
Why are you laughing?
Like just
I'm
like
laughing because I agree with you,
this
Colin.
is
It's
like 5% better than a Hallmark movie, and
I absolutely
that's
agree.
it.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it had more money because it
did,
doesn't have. You
but,
watch a Hallmark
you know,
movie,
yeah.
maybe you'll recognize one person in it. And this
Yeah.
is a bunch of, let's be honest, C-listers that you're
Even
like.
Lauren Holly is a C-lister, who, by the way, is
Yeah.
not even in this enough, and she's the funniest character.
If you're appearing in Hot Frosty, you are automatically a C-lister. I hate to break it to you. I don't make the rules.
I mean, you're right, and I what happened to Craig Robinson? He used to be in every comedy,
He was
and
in
now
a really
he's in
funny
this.
TV show that got canceled recently, where he played like a guy who like Killing It. It was called. I think it only got 2 seasons.
Was he the main character?
He was the main character in it. Yeah.
I think Craig Robinson's hilarious, and I like what's his name, Joe Latrugio.
Joe Latrugio, yeah, very funny too.
From
He's-
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah. Who I
Yeah, and he's in
who I
all the
once saw
David
on the
Wayne
street.
stuff too.
I saw him once on the street in Montreal, and I followed behind him, and he looked like he knew I had spotted him.
Wait,
Very
so you were
uncomfortable.
stalking him?
No, we were just going in the same direction.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
just,
so you weren't
yeah.
like,
Okay.
that's a celebrity. I'm
You
gonna
made
see
that-
where
Why would I
he
follow
goes.
him?
You made it
Yeah.
sound like you did a U-turn and started
No,
following
no,
him.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I like passing by celebrities. I'm like, ooh, there's Ari Aster.
It's like
Reading John Updike. Nerd.
Is that a real story?
Yeah, no, I think it wasn't John Updike. It was John Steinbeck. He was reading one of those books. I'm not even kidding.
That's
He was
cool.
walking down the street. It was during TIFF.
And then he
So his
stopped,
film
and
was
then he
probably
turned
playing.
around. And he's like, "Are you following me?"
I gotta say,
Are you following me? I'm sure. I never heard Ari Aster talk.
I went to TIFF this year. I never just ran into like a random celebrity. Also, I've been living in this city for 15 years. I've also just never seen a
Never?
I did see Alia Shawkat once, and I
had to say,
think that was during TIFF.
When we were
It
at
was.
a grocery store, I had to be like, "Oh, excuse me, Lawrence Fishburne." Well, we didn't say that.
What?
But we did have
That's-
to get by him. Yeah,
That's
You said
amazing.
Morpheus.
that was because was his wife on Suits? She was on a TV show.
Oh, I don't know.
And I know somebody that worked on it and said Lawrence Fishburne would always come in with 2 giant dogs.
Like hot dogs?
yeah, and he's like, "I love him. Got him down the street. I'm double fisting him." No,
Well, he was also in Hannibal, and that shot in Toronto.
This was before.
Okay.
This was maybe 10 years ago.
Maybe he just liked
and
hot
Emily was
dogs.
like, "Who is that guy? He looks familiar." And I was like, "Lawrence Fishburne."
I love hot dogs. Where's the
Like, I love
mustard?
hot dogs.
Where's the
gigantic
mustard?
hot dog?
Where's
Did
the
he-
mustard
we're like, did he-
table?
Did he go to like a baseball game to get those? They don't usually sell those on the streets.
No, Lawrence Fishburne, they have like a kind of special place. They're like, say no more,
Mr. Fishburne.
And they're like, the mustard station is over there.
So, by the way, Colin picked this movie.
I did. Okay, so
explain yourself. No. I mean, I wanted to watch it.
Oh, you loved it, April. You
I
were
don't know.
clapping and cheering.
People were tweeting about it, and I'm like, what the hell is this Hot Frosty? It's on Netflix, blah, blah, blah. And then my friend was tweeting about it. My friend Walt, it turns out, was the colorist on this movie.
Yeah, so that's why he was tweeting about it. Wait, it wasn't on LinkedIn, was it?
No, it was on Facebook. He's
Okay.
like, check this movie.
Why is Colin hanging on LinkedIn and taking movie suggestions?
No. So anyway, he was like tweeting about it, like, yeah, I colored this movie, blah, blah, blah. And then the next week, I guess everybody saw the trailer, and then it became like the #1 watched movie on Netflix. It was like huge.
This was like when it came out like a month ago.
I think it was like, so they have like a slate of 3 or 4 Christmas films, maybe one a week. And so the first one was directed by, it was somebody interesting, Netflix Christmas films. I didn't watch it. It was about getting like tickets to a Eurythmic concert.
What?
No.
Oh, no, I don't even know what
Is
this
that
And then
real?
the second one was Hot Frosty, and then there was The Merry Gentleman, which was like Magic Mike, but it's Christmas time.
What?
And then a Lindsay Lohan.
There's a Lindsay
Christmas
Lohan
film.
one that we
Yeah,
watched.
those were the
We watched
four.
the trailer
Oh,
for
the
that.
Irish,
Last night. No, not Irish Wish. There's a Christmas one.
Okay, the Christmas Wish.
Yeah, they didn't go like full bore this year because sometimes they have like Christmas Chronicles or Klaus was a Netflix film,
yeah,
or
they don't-
Jingle Jangle, a movie that barely exists.
Yeah, they don't have that Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn money anymore.
No, they're like, can we
Guess
just make
not.
Hallmark movies? And then it goes number one. They're like, why would we spend any other money?
Exactly.
Like, we got 'em.
By the way, like I know we're grading on a curve here, but there was a movie that came out, I think it was in 2021 or 2020 called Happiest Season, which was the Kristen Stewart lesbian Christmas movie.
Oh,
and you
with
know
the-
what? For a Christmas movie, it was actually good. Like I've actually watched it multiple times.
Isn't that with
I
Mackenzie
liked it.
Davis?
That?
Yeah, Mackenzie.
I have
Davis
no
is her name?
memory
Yeah.
of it at all, and I gave it 3.5 stars.
I've watched it at least twice, and maybe even 3 times, to the point where I'm kind of like, I could put this on every year. And like
Directed by Clea Duvall. man.
That's true.
It has what's his name from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. Speaking of Schitt's Creek, because it has a Eugene Levy's son. I can't remember his name.
Dan Levy.
Dan Levy, who's funny in it. But like, yeah. So there can
That's
be.
not a Hallmark Christmas movie.
No, it's
though.
not. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, it's like that, but it's better because, like you said, it has a budget. It has a good director.
Well, so what I hear from friends of friends who work on Christmas projects is that the producers do not want anything good. They want something homogenous,
Yeah.
that's forgettable, and that it hits all these very specific beats.
Yeah, and I think we had talked to our friend who was an actor in one, and he says he went down and it was like they used the same crew.
Yep.
They had
So
the
it's a
same
well-oiled
They
machine.
had same budget for every movie, the same schedule. It's like, okay, we shoot it in like a week, we're done, blah blah blah.
But
blah, blah.
this Hot Frosty is not quite that. It is. It is.
has
It
all
is
the
a different.
trappings
It is a
of
different
one.
beast, though.
Shocking. I saw the screenwriter has like one of the top Letterboxd reviews where he talks about how like the project came about. Russell Hainline, if you look at he says that he was pitching the movie in like Norm Macdonald-esque delivery. What if when Frosty Snowman came to life, he was a super hot dude? I can't do Norm Macdonald. But
What
It's
if
called Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty came to life there?
yeah.
Box office poison.
Well, no, number one, you'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a home box office, not poison.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a joke, but this movie doesn't lean into it being a parody.
No, it's actually
And if
kind
it-
of heartfelt and earnest, I guess.
Oh, I didn't know that Lacey Chabert has been in Christmas movie hell for like a decade.
What?
Just looking at her.
Really?
Yeah, she's
Yep.
not in quote unquote real movies.
They're real movies.
I mean, the
but-
only one I know that people make fun of is Christian Mingle.
Oh, I see here
Yeah.
all the way her first one was 2011 Holiday Heist, followed by Matchmaker Santa. Let's see here, Christian Mingle, which we talked about. That's not a Christmas film, is it?
I think it is actually. I think it
Oh.
also takes place at Christmas.
A Royal Christmas, Family for Christmas, Merriest Christmas. That's with Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Christmas Melody, also Mariah Carey.
Oh my
A Wish for
God.
Christmas, All I Want for Christmas, another Mariah Carey animated film. Maybe she's just friends with Mariah Carey.
It sounds
Mariah
like
Carey.
it. Yeah.
The Sweetest Christmas, All of My Heart, The Wedding. Oh, that's different. Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. Oh, that's nice. So she's in the Hallmark, like...
Oh, my God. Wow.
They see here, Crossword Mysteries, A Puzzle to Die For.
Do you think
she's like an AI-generated poster where you've never seen people less excited to be in a movie.
Are you sending it to us?
Yeah, I'm sending it to you right now.
Do you think she goes back into, like, the crypt, like, with Mariah Carey, like, every year? Or, like, what's the deal? Because
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they have like no expression on their faces whatsoever.
Well, Lacey Chabert doesn't really have expression on her face ever, even in a movie where she's supposed to, be a grieving widow.
Yeah, like I was telling,
she is stone faced.
All these have the same font, and they look. Oh my God!
Yeah. It's just like it's a machine.
It's
right?
like a series of movies proposing murder.
You think they just like feed their face into like the
The thing about Lacey Chabert is. Oh, she's not much more than a pretty face.
She's not even a pretty...
Oh, man, we haven't gotten to an April roast the main actress corner.
She's not
even a long time.
We're going to be roasting because...
She's sweet. She's really fucking funny in Mean Girls. And I've never watched Party of Five, but apparently that was a big deal.
The last movie I saw her in, I know I saw Mean Girls vaguely, was Lost in Space.
Oh, who did she play in Lost in Space?
The daughter.
She was like the daughter with like, she was known for like a really high pitched like cartoon.
But yeah, definitely the most popular thing she's ever done is Mean Girls. And she's...
What do you think is the second most popular?
Lost in Space.
Party of Five.
Nope. Anastasia. Not another teen movie. Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
I forgot she's in not another teen movie, but it's like one scene.
And then Hot Frosty.
Yeah, that's her biggest.
She's a reoccurring character because she's also in Black Christmas.
The new one?
2006 movie.
What? We did that on the podcast.
We did do it, yeah.
I barely remember her being in that. There are a lot of girls in that, though. I can't keep track.
The only way I could recognize her back in the day is her voice. She had that really like...
Yeah, she has kind of like a baby voice.
Well, does she?
No
That's
wonder...
probably why she does a lot of cartoon voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's very
and
like...
Good for her,
it's softened now. It sounds like kind of normal voice, but
hey, how's it going?
Anyway,
back in the
obviously
day,
she's doing fine. It's just
sure.
There's a reason
or
why
she's not doing fine and she has a lot of bills to pay.
Exactly.
There's a reason why she's not in
gambler.
like The Notebook, like Rachel
look
McAdams.
Like movies that don't exist. She stars in a movie called The Dancing Detective: A Deadly Tango.
What?
These are these like weird Lifetime movies.
Who's
great poster? I like that cutout.
Yeah, but like look at her face. She's
all
like,
the faces like they all look the same.
It's all the same expression. Yeah. Oh, she's smiling in Christmas in Rome.
She has no expressions in this movie whatsoever.
I am not judging anybody for getting plastic surgery, but I'm guessing she's had Botox because she doesn't emote. But she's always kind of had the cute like chipmunk cheeks. That's just her face.
Yes.
Which is, I'm sure, like again, was part of the reason why she's so cute, right? You cannot deny she's adorable. But
I can deny that.
I will deny that easily.
I'm just not buying her as this character, even in Hot Frosty. I don't buy her as somebody who owns a diner. I don't buy her as somebody whose husband died. And then
wait, why can't her husband have died?
I don't buy her. No, I'm just saying she doesn't seem that sad about it. And I don't buy her as somebody who is even really attractive to Hot Frosty. She's given me nothing.
Can we talk about Hot Frosty for a second?
Okay, so this guy was in Schitt's Creek.
Let's talk about the plot a little bit. Yeah. This is how we usually roll.
We saw the trailer. I'm like, what is this movie everyone's talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And I looked it up. We watched the trailer, and I texted you, April. I'm like, you have to watch the trailer for this Hot Frosty.
I hadn't even heard of it.
It looks absurd. And so basically it's about this hot, ripped snowman who's a snowman. Lacey Chabert's like the sad sack in this town. She puts a magical scarf around this Hot Frosty who has abs, and he turns
Who made the snowman? Did they ever say who made the snowman?
No, I don't think so.
A sequel can pick that up.
Yeah, it's like the prequel.
Hotter Frosty.
Hot Frosty comes home.
Well, they're gonna shoot 3 back to back, and it's like Hot Frosty Origin, Hotter Frosty.
It's gonna be like the
Hottest Frosty.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Annabelle like series. Mike Flanagan's gonna do one.
Oh no! It will be like, why is Mike Flanagan doing this? Like an Exorcist sequel? Really?
Oh, wow. It's all about trauma, family trauma.
Mike Flanagan, I always loved the guy, and now I even love him more because he has a podcast called Director's Commentary, who just gets his
Yeah.
friends to do commentary over movies.
Oh,
So,
I've heard it's
love
really
it.
good.
I gotta check that out.
He seems like a lovely man. He's very talented. I wish he had done that new Salem's Lot movie. Oof.
No, I didn't see that one.
What a stinker.
I mean, Mike Flanagan's like, please don't. I don't want to do more Stephen King films.
but
don't
he just
make
did
me.
one.
I know, but please, I've had enough.
Salem's
The Life
Lot.
of Chuck is like, it's supposed to be great.
Yeah,
I don't know.
supposed to be. I've seen it.
Yeah, supposed
Yeah,
to be.
supposed
yeah,
to be.
supposed to be. We all love the John Travolta and the Simpsons impersonation.
He kind of looks like John Travolta. Yeah. Kind of looks like.
All right, so Hot
Anyway,
Frosty,
yeah,
Magic Snowman.
yeah,
She puts
her
a-
friend gives her a magical scarf.
Yeah, magical scarf brings this guy to life, and he's pretty much this hot
Baby
ripped,
man.
hot ripped dude. What is it, like pop culture detective?
Born sexy yesterday.
Born sexy yesterday.
It is.
Okay,
a
this
man
has
with
an
baby
issue
brain.
though that
Yes.
these movies have is like she cannot have a relationship with this man.
No.
He is a child.
Yes.
Does
But
not understand the world.
Movies
Yes.
and TV shows and books have been doing this since the history of literature.
But it's-
And it should still be illegal.
Usually
but it's
women.
always women.
I'm sure there are instances before this,
Yeah,
obviously, where
it
was
is
a
always
man,
women.
but
It's like Splash.
generally-
yeah, exactly.
Well,
It's like,
Big has a baby brain man
Big-
in it
Big-
that has
Big
sex.
is an
but
example too.
generally it's women. It's like
Yeah.
The Fifth Element was like a good example.
By the way, if anyone out there who hasn't seen that pop culture detective YouTube essay on this, it really kind of lays out the tropes and gives really, really good examples. It's very, very insightful.
and
so
like
check that
why
out.
it's just so icky.
Why?
Gross.
Why? It's because if I'm a man and I'm with a woman who's never been with any man, then she can never be disappointed in me. And I'm the greatest. Everything I do is the
I
greatest
hate to
thing
break
that's
it.
ever happened because
Not
it's the
true.
only thing that's ever happened. That's
That's
the
like
idea.
saying like I've
No,
never
I'm-
had this kind of food. It can never disappoint. You're like, bad.
It's kind of like the my high school boyfriend. I thought he was like the greatest thing ever, and I got married in high school, and so I'll never know that there was anything any better out there.
Basically,
that
it's like
kind of idea.
what they imply
you know?
is like men's sort of ideal is just like a hot woman with
Yeah.
a baby brain.
Yeah, well, they have to teach her everything.
We'll never question.
We'll never question anything.
Things that they do, and they consider you the smartest person.
Exactly.
They've
the
got
authority
baby
on
brain.
everything.
All they're gonna have is questions. They don't understand what's
Exactly.
going
Also,
on.
I mean, there's some Freudian stuff in there too. You
Yeah,
know?
I'm sure,
I mean,
but anyway.
you know.
So this is the old switcheroo. It's like a man with a baby brain. I don't know,
Which is still uncomfortable.
now I watched Schitt's Creek and I do not remember this guy.
Okay, so because he doesn't look like what he looks like on Schitt's Creek at all. Yeah,
no,
that's why.
but yeah, he was a major character
Yeah.
in the second half of the show.
Okay, he's got a beard.
He did eventually. He didn't start off with a beard, I don't think, but then eventually he did. He was like, "Oh, I'm a veterinarian," and then he's like, "I want to move to Africa or something." Anyway, and then
okay.
what's her name? Annie has to break up with him.
I feel a little bad for him because he looks too shredded in this movie.
He looks like
He has been dehydrating for a week.
Yes, and he's interviewed about it that like he learned about this like only like 2 weeks before he was gonna
Oh
go.
no!
Yeah,
So he probably
Yeah.
did not do it healthily then. He's
something like
really
that.
veiny.
he's so veiny. It looks like he
doesn't look
drops
good.
like all of his fat in like water. Like it looks uncomfortable. Like anytime.
Me and Colin would look like that too if we dropped all
Oh,
the fat
sure,
water.
yeah.
Just veiny
Yeah.
and muscle.
Yeah,
totally.
He's ripped, yes, but he's very, very slim, and
There's
you can
just-
see like every contour.
It's like he's been vacuum sealed.
I saw everything.
I saw everything.
I saw everything. And I mean, hey, don't
Wait, is that your Patrick Stewart impersonation?
I saw
everything.
like I said, don't get me wrong. The guy's ripped. He's got a great body, but it's a little too. Is vascular the right word?
Sure. Yeah.
He looks like we should be studying him like in a medical.
Yeah,
hall.
he looks like.
Should be like posing for an art class.
No, it's like
to
what
get
are those?
every, like-
Oh, he'd be perfect for an art class. Yeah, I told April, it's like, yeah, he has like a Willem Dafoe body. Like you can just see, it's like there's no fat, and it's just like that's the type of model you hope that you get in like art class because like
What's odd about this movie is I feel like it starts off, but then it won me by the end. I was digging. it.
okay. And we were comparing it to another movie that we did on the podcast, Pottersville,
Yes.
which has
Oh, I hate Pottersville.
Oh man,
Pottersville.
Pottersville's so much
Fuck
better
you,
than
Justin.
Hot Frosty.
What did I say on Pottersville?
I don't know.
I mean, you go listen to it. I'm like, I love it.
I don't remember.
Probably.
That movie's
yeah.
got its
Stars.
problems too, but that is like it's like the same small town.
Wait, was it pro furry or anti furry?
No, it was
I
pro
can't
furry.
remember.
The thing is,
Good.
like, it has furries in it, but it's also like make fun of
they were a
them,
joke,
like they were.
yeah.
So it's kind of
guess.
anti, but I mean, it's
Yeah, but then Ron Perlman was like attacking people on Twitter who didn't like it and like called.
Wait, I didn't even review part of it. We did it for this podcast.
yeah, long time ago. But anyway, my point was that movie at least has more interesting things about it, better actors too, but like the casting of what's his name in the lead alone,
Michael Shannon
is enough.
It's so
I remember him. Yeah, but he's so angry in that movie.
I'm just saying that's what makes it interesting.
Well, he's a
and
horrifying
different.
monster. In,
But like the
most
thing
movies.
about
less
Hot
generic.
Frosty is, I was lightly invested by the end. Like I found they were fun. Like the whole time, there's like no real drama.
What, in this movie?
It keeps Hot Frosty. It keeps hinting that it's gonna go down this like body horror style, like I'm melting.
Yeah,
but it never really gets there.
I was like predicting. I kept turning to April, like, "Oh my god, that scarf is going to get torn off of him by."
And he's
Can you
gonna
picture like the
freeze
shitty
slowly.
CG, like
Yeah, as he
yeah.
becomes snow, a
Thankfully-
snowman, or maybe melts.
Thankfully, spoiler, it never happens really, but.
But he seemingly dies. All right, spoiler alert for what happens in the movie. But okay, so the woman who wants Fletch to happen, she's sad. She puts her scarf around I would say busty snowman. That's a different movie.
Buff snowman.
A buff snowman. He wakes up. He's naked. He crashes through a plate glass windows. Suffers no injuries.
Very awkwardly, yeah.
He's a magic man, I guess.
He kind of like, he steals like a jumpsuit. What is it, like a kind of mechanic's outfit that says Jack? He's got like one of the labels.
He's Jack Frost.
Yeah, he steals some boots, whatever. So it's like she runs a diner in the town, a beloved diner.
Yeah, but she also is like running out of money. Because her house is like in ill repair. It has no heating. The roof needs fixing. So I thought it was she can't afford to pay her utility bills.
No, she's just lazy.
But
Yes.
the reason is her husband used to fix things around the house and he died. So that's why the house is cold.
That was out of nowhere.
Kind
like,
of.
What
yeah.
the hell?
But no, apparently the diner's doing fine.
Yeah.
Right?
What if we learned that her husband isn't really dead? It was like a whole she's gaslighting people.
Yeah.
He just left me.
She just wants sympathy.
That would have been great because that photo of the two of them looks like AI.
Photoshopped.
Some AI
It's not even
Photoshop
Photoshop,
nightmare.
it's like AI.
God, have you guys been noticing AI in movies? In some recent movies, there's been like some AI stuff, and I'm like, ugh, gross.
Well, I mean, we always made fun of bad Photoshops, and now they're like, well, now we can just use,
I wish we had bad Photoshop
They look no
instead of all
better.
these butter people.
Yeah,
it looks
no, it
terrible.
looks worse. It looks worse.
But then at one point in the movie, like she picks up, what is it, like her husband's like, I don't know, death certificate
Yes.
or medical report.
Yes.
And it says like chemotherapy.
He died of cancer, yeah.
But instead of like handwriting, it's like kind of typed with, it looks like Comic Sans.
The font is in a comedy font.
Yeah, it's like comedy font that says like chemotherapy, four stage cancer, whatever, stage 4 cancer. It's like, oh my God.
And so we're
almighty.
like, that's why she's so sad.
And it's
but like,
never brought up again, really.
this movie is self-aware in the fact that like everyone is accepting that he's a snowman and no one cares. And like that's
I love
joke.
it. It's very
Yeah.
Moturn-esque where they're like, he's a snowman. Oh, okay.
Dude, speaking of Moturn, there's several scenes where we cut to the police station, and for some reason, our Craig Robinson, the chief of police, is just singing and playing on a keyboard.
Why
and I'm
not?
like, this is Matt Farley. Like this is the vibe I'm getting. And then there's like a shitty cell in the corner that was just.
Yes, I know. I thought I'm in a cage.
Yeah. It's
And then
it's-
that kind of is a recurring thing. I'm like, first of all, Matt Farley's song's way better than Craig Robinson's song, Sorry, which I am sure he wrote himself because that's something that he does.
He
as
loves
well.
improvising songs.
Yeah,
He's done that.
but I was like, this is a total Moturn vibe.
Yeah, it's like wooden dowels on the jail cage, and then just like kind of spray painted like gray.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's. I guarantee he just brought that keyboard to set, and it's just like right.
I guess
sit
I've
and do this
seen
between
him do
takes.
it in other movies. That's just something he does to entertain people, which is great.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it between takes, and we're gonna work it into the movie somehow.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it in the end credits.
Sure, why not? Spoiler.
Oh man, the end credits feel like they crawl along because they have to hit a certain amount of time, which is not true because it's longer than 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Barely, but yes. It's like an hour 36 or something.
Okay, so Snowman comes to life. Lady's like, "What are you doing?" I don't remember how they get together. Crashes into her. No, she spots him naked.
No, it's like he some old couple spots him naked, and then he's like, "Whoa!" All the women when they see Hot Frosty in this town,
they're like, boing, boing, boing,
their
boing.
panties explode. Like it's like an anime or something.
I mean, that's the joke. And I mean, I know we talked about how this man actually looks, but if he was a hot, Frosty, you might have that. You might have
the common expression we're all using, a Hot Frosty.
That's the new expression. I was saying like he's a himbo. That's the common expression.
Yeah.
And women love that because he also has here. I'm gonna be real like the kids now. He has golden retriever energy.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, that's like he wants to help. He's silly and he's just like kind of not super intelligent but willing to learn.
He's a very quick learner, as it's shown.
And very well, so they do the thing. I think he's like shows up to the diner and he's like, well, "You're the first person that saw me, so can I stay with you?" And she decides to take him in.
She's just like, "Stay at home. This is called a TV." And she like, he sits in front of TV like
a la X-Men Apocalypse. He learns everything about the world.
I know everything. I haven't even seen X-Men Apocalypse.
That's what he does. In X-Men Apocalypse, he just touches the TV and
really
sucks the
God, I can't remember.
I know
How
of
would
that
you
scene
even
and that
remember that?
Because I like that movie.
It's a common. Oh my God.
But Splash does it too. She watches TV and learns English. Although his knowledge in this movie is inconsistent. Don't think too much about it because it's like, he just knows things.
I just did.
Yeah, he knows. It doesn't matter. He knows how to bake. He knows how to.
Well, he learns that from watching TV.
It's one of those things where it's like, how do you know these words? How do you know this? How do you
not
know
does he go to the bathroom?
It doesn't matter.
You want to come out and he's like, gaga goo goo, and he just like learns fast.
He just like shits his pants.
Why am I alive?
Why am I alive? The first line's like, why am I alive?
But there's a point, and this is funny because Lacey Chabert goes into like this, I don't know, it's like a kind of, what do you call it, antique store or like an old clothing store or something run by this couple. And this old lady that runs the store, we saw, what's her name's name in the opening credits?
Oh, Lauren Holly.
Lauren Holly.
Of Army of Darkness, the theatrical ending. Of course, we all know her.
Oh yeah,
Dumb and Dumber and Ford Field.
Dumb and Dumber. But April is like, is that Lauren Holly who's running the store? And I'm like, no, this lady is like 75 years old. She's not that old. But we looked it up and she was on Polka Dot Door.
Yeah.
She was?
We mentioned before, but this is like a shot in Canada. It's a very Canadian production. And I was like, I recognize this woman. And she's done a ton of TV, but nothing that I've seen. And then it must have been from reruns of Polka Dot Door, which if you don't know is a children's show that played in Canada.
Yeah.
And I think in the US too, maybe.
She looks kind of like the mom from the Brady Bunch or the Partridge Family.
She has this very specific voice that I was like, I know her. Anyway, she has like a magical scarf anyway.
She does. And she said she met her husband, who is quite a lot younger than her, by the way. Not that I'm, whatever.
I just remember her husband being like a lot uglier than her.
Whoa.
Yeah.
April making the broad judgment.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But maybe they're in love.
So she gives Lacey Chabert this magical scarf. And she's like, oh, well, I met my husband, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so Hot Frosty comes to life and just like...
He's hanging out at her house.
And he's like fixing her roof because he's watching some like repair show on TV. And then
he has like a superpower. Like if I watch
it's almost like he's magic.
Yeah, if I watch it, then I can do it. Yeah, isn't there like a name for people who learn by watching as opposed to doing? Maybe there's not a name for that. But haven't you ever had to take like an aptitude test and it says like, nope. I learned this way?
Well, there's reading versus visuals. Like kind of see pictures that explains how to do it rather than written instructions.
Why didn't they just have him watching YouTube? YouTube has like how to do anything and everything.
Because she's putting on TV.
Because she'd get radicalized if he was on YouTube.
Yeah.
He starts watching one flat earth video and then...
he's like, I think there's too many people coming from other countries. Oh, no.
No.
I was built by Canadian snow.
Oh, no. He's been watching Joe Rogan.
Ooh.
I just meant with like the how-to videos.
Yeah, but the thing was, he wasn't intentionally watching the how-to videos. She was just putting on the TV to keep him like busy.
So he starts fixing things around the house. Eventually, because the house is in ill repair, he gets out, he's fixing the roof, and then Lauren Holly drives by.
Almost like gets in an accident.
And she's like, whoa. She's so hot.
Yeah, and so her car gets stalled, and there's a really funny scene where he's like, "Oh, do you want me to get out behind you and push?" And she's like, "Yes."
You want me to push you from behind, and she's like, "Yeah." And
I'm a simple woman. Dumb like sexual innuendos and puns like this are hilarious to me, and it was funny. And the movie like never gets like that silly again. No. It was annoying because I was having a great time, and she's funny, and she's also barely in this.
Yeah. There's one thing I will say. Watching the trailer, I was like, this is like, sure, he's got like, a ripped body and stuff. I'm going to get into April territory here, but...
you're judging people by their personal appearance? April's always doing.
Hot Frosty is not hot.
You don't think he's attractive?
I don't think he's attractive. If you saw him, I was showing pictures to my friend, like just like texting him, and he said, it looks like Nicolas Cage took the substance.
He put himself out there, and you're just mocking him.
He kind of, as April said, he has a horse face, kind of.
I don't think he's ugly. I'm just gonna put that out there. But
if he didn't have the body,
I'm not gonna comment.
If he had a normal body,
disgusting.
Do you think people would be screeching to a halt, like getting
not
into
if he
accidents?
had well, I mean, you just gotta suspend your disbelief. The thing is, this actor has comedy chops, at least a little bit. He was on Schitt's Creek. If you got generic handsome guy that's in all of these Hallmark Christmas movies, he wouldn't be able to act as good.
What if he had Dan Stevens?
Well, Dan Stevens can act and is hot. I know this guy is no Ryan Gosling, but I think.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good.
I mean, he's Ken.
God,
right?
Ryan Gosling is doing
if it was
this.
the gauze, fuck.
The gauze.
I'm just.
Oh man, the gauze and the belush together at last. Can you imagine?
I'd totally watch this again.
But yeah, no.
I mean, I'd be breaking down doors to see that.
Oh fuck yeah.
But yeah, you have to suspend.
Has Jim Belushi done any Christmas films? That's the question.
It feels like he should have. He feels like he should have like 20 under his belt.
Like a Canine Christmas or something. I mean,
he's still making Canine movies?
Don't forget, he was in Jingle All the Way.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, but I mean like Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh, I don't know.
It feels like
that's what I mean.
No, he's like too busy on his weed farm, I think, right now.
Wait, let me look.
Maybe like a dog.
No, he doesn't really do stuff anymore.
He was in Twin Peaks: The Return.
Oh yeah, right. He was one of like the businessmen guys.
The two brothers.
He was great in that. He was in Woody Allen's Wonder Wheel.
Oh no!
Oh jeez.
And then he was in a story of a young man who gets help of an unlikely animal friend, Gigi and Nate, which it looks like probably someone in a wheelchair gets help from a helper monkey.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Maybe Jim Belushi voices the monkey. Hey,
I bet you,
doing, kid?
I bet you he does.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, what's going on, kid?
Hey, you got some empty bottles? I need to, empty my bladder.
I got a weed farm.
There is a funny.
He can only play himself.
That was a canine.
There's a funny scene in this movie where they bring Hot Frosty to the doctor, and the doctor is also horny for this.
Just
man.
like
everyone is so
horny. And it's not even like. Oh, it's just like, who's this?
Oh,
I guess like everyone.
So
in this
maybe
town
Colin
is
was
plain.
jealous. He was like, "Why don't people react like that when I go outside?"
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
Colin,
it's
you
like
during winter to like get on your roof to show the guns off.
I'm always doing that, and no car accidents.
Colin, you have a lovely body, despite never exercising.
No
very
accidents.
cute body, Colin.
Don't be jealous.
I'm always running around going, oh, okay, whatever you want.
When I think of Colin, I think of like slapstick, baby brain shenanigans.
Doing like electrical shit. Oh!
And so the veterinarian that she sees is like, oh, he's a snowman. Okay.
Oh, she's a veterinarian?
Yeah, because he's like, he's always hot,
Yeah, so if he is in an area that is not cold, he will start melting. But he's just like sweating.
Thankfully, Lacey Chabert's house is freezing cold.
Yeah.
Because she's lazy.
Well, she apparently just can't hire a repairman or learn how to fix her.
She has like a post-it note next to her thermostat that says like, wait for repairman or call repairman or something like that.
She's too depressed.
I guess because of her husband, who's died in Comic Sans.
I think they say that it's been like less than a year, like 3 months or something.
That short
I
amount of
think
time?
so, yeah. So it's still fresh. But, I mean, 3 months, I mean, that is really probably too soon to jump in a new relationship. But if it's the perfect snowman, then, I mean, you have to take that chance.
Why not? If it's like a living
snowman. So what
snowman.
would you do, Colin, if you came home and April was sitting with a shirtless buff guy and she's like, oh, it's a snowman who came
and he's wearing a scarf.
Yeah,
I would say
a scarf.
Just a scarf.
I would do what everyone does in this movie.
Whoa,
and go, oh yeah, he's a snowman.
Yeah, okay.
And then go.
Well, like what kind of becomes the plot of this movie is Craig Robinson has it out for the streaker who broke a window pane, and it's like the movie itself like knows that's stupid.
Yeah, it's silly, of course. Yeah, and it's a joke. He really plays up how he's like this kind of hard ass, and he's always wearing his aviator sunglasses.
Again, I like Joe Latruglio in this, but Craig Robinson probably the MVP of this movie because he's trying to insert as much humor as he can into every scene. He's just wringing that towel dry. There's not much there, but he's trying.
Wringing that towel dry.
Yeah, there's nothing. Certainly, like Lacey Chabert is not bringing anything.
No,
to this
I'm
movie.
like the scene where they're like eating the ice is funny. Kind of this scene where Joe Latruglio is like kind of teaching him like how do I kiss a girl? How do I dance with a girl?
Oh yeah, I like that.
It was cute.
Yeah. He's got the right tone. Lacey Chabert, I feel, is just like a flat line in this movie.
She's like blank staring.
Yeah,
like,
she
the
brings
whole
nothing.
Time. Although, I mean, she was having fun during those bloopers.
Oh, those bloopers.
That might be my favorite thing, you guys, because I love bloopers.
I like at the end of the movie that the snowman dies. It made me laugh.
What?
I kept saying to April, I'm like, it was getting towards the end of the movie, and I'm like, that Craig Robinson is just going to pull that scarf off, and he's going to melt and die.
That's not what happens, though.
And I swear to you, April was... like you were on the verge of tears.
I was not.
You're like, no, he's not.
I don't remember.
Like,
Wait, just at the thought of it?
Just the thought of it. I'm like, it's coming to that.
I don't remember.
And she was like on the verge of tears.
No.
I don't believe that.
That's true.
But I mean, I will say, like, I didn't hate this movie. It's fine.
I didn't hate it either. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's not.
There is a part of me, as I've mentioned before, that likes bad rom-coms, and I don't really watch them very often. And like the one I watched recently, funnily enough, was Zack and Miri Make a Porno, featuring Craig Robinson again.
There you go.
And I like dumb movies like that sometimes, and this does like satisfy that itch. Whereas
This
like
is sweet.
really bad Hallmark movies don't even satisfy that because they're so shitty. This has tropes in it that I like.
Sure. You know what? My favorite thing about it is I got to give it to, it's got a heart. There isn't any cynicism in the movie.
No.
And I'm like, okay, it's got his heart in the right place. Sure, it's not great, but whatever.
Like it's a classic
enjoyable.
story about this guy who comes to a town
Yes.
and improves the lives of all the citizens.
Sure, it's no Pottersville, but I will say, but there is a side plot where he gets involved with the kids at the school and helps them
and then he's going to the
decorate
school,
for the school dance.
And like everyone loves this man.
But the kids are like treating him as one of the kids because he's got a baby brain,
which is correct.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So the woman who wants to make Fletch happen should not have a relationship with this baby brain man.
Yes, exactly.
But she does.
That's
how it ends, of course.
Reluctantly, though.
Are you saying Fletch?
No, not Fetch.
Fetch.
Well, Fetch is not going to happen, so I'm going to make Fletch happen.
Well, you said Fletch.
Chevy Chase,
Colin
Fletch.
doesn't get this because he doesn't remember Mean Girls.
Mean
We
Girls,
watched it a year ago.
Oh, okay.
She goes, stop trying to make Fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Got it.
All I'll say is that Mean Girls is no Clueless. Clueless is the superior.
Clueless
I
is great.
Agree more. Clueless probably is one of my favorite movies. Although I still love Mean Girls, but
Ooh,
you're right.
Mean Girls musical, bad. That's the last
Don't
thing
get
I
me
saw.
started on how much I hated that movie.
Wait, you hated it?
I couldn't
Why?
even get through it because I actually saw the musical and it was dope, and the movie ruined everything.
How did it
Watching
ruin
that,
it?
didn't we?
Sorry, what's that, Colin?
We started watching it.
Yeah, and I couldn't. Well,
It was terrible.
I need to do like a video essay on how all the things it sucked. Basically,
Get in line, honey.
it removed songs that were good and replaced them with worse ones, and then the songs it did have in them, they basically did like MIDI versions of them that sounded
Why do they always
absolutely
do
like
that?
shit. And when you've seen it on stage, you know how good it is, and then you watch how they decided to film it. It was just so much worse.
Hey, speaking of taking things out, you said in the trailer there was like a Mean
in the
Girls
trailer,
joke.
there's a Mean Girls joke that's not in the movie of
Wait,
Hot
what's
Frosty.
the joke? Because there is a Mean Girls in the movie.
So there's they're watching TV and they're somehow watching the Lindsay Lohan Netflix movie. And
oh no, that joke is in the movie.
well, I didn't see it. Did I go to the
Yeah,
bathroom or
you were
something?
Maybe
probably
you went
not
to the
paying
bathroom.
attention.
Oh,
Yeah, it did happen. I remember that.
Okay, edit all this.
She's
out.
like, oh, I knew that girl in high school or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
it's in the
Yeah.
movie.
It is in the movie.
Oh well, it must have been during that 5 minutes I went to the bathroom. Well, okay. Complaint.
She had a huge dump.
Complaint retracted. That being said, though,
there was a third act.
That joke is stupid. That joke is stupid.
Those mud pies
died.
were overflowing the bowl.
I did a paint job in the bathroom.
And Colin couldn't hear it because it was just like.
I was like, what the hell's happening in this movie?
Well,
April
I mean,
comes
sometimes
back.
we pause the movie.
April
but
comes
I
back and
guess
it's
we
like
didn't.
just the bloopers are playing. He died?
He died. She had tears in her eyes.
What?
It's like, I ain't crying because of the movie.
No, I will say,
He
Colin,
finally found clothes?
You're very sweet. You usually pause the movie if I'm taking too long. But in this case, I mean, there's not much.
Say if you just pause the movie in general, but you're taking.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Well, I mean,
Colin, pause it.
you know when you pause it. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I got tears running down my cheeks.
Doing a paint job.
Okay. But yeah,
So, yeah.
I mean, Mean Girls is a great movie.
Oh, my spine is hurting.
But yeah, don't watch the
spine is hurting.
Don't watch the musical movie because it's a travesty.
It's like my back muscles are hurting from laughing. Oh God.
So what? Basically, the whole town loves this guy. He like saves a school dance, choreographs a dance. It's nice.
Yeah, it's like cute.
Like Craig Robinson arrests him.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
at a big
shows up.
party.
Yeah. And then drags him to jail.
And then
So
he's
the guy-
melting.
The hot snowman is always threatening to like, I can't stay here for a very long time. Like I'm basically gonna die, right? Like he keeps saying this.
Yes, he
Like-
does.
Yeah, he knows.
I keep turning to April to like, you know.
He's gonna die.
she's-
April's
just
on this.
tears are.
You know why Colin keeps saying that? Because he's got tears in his own eyes.
I do.
Maybe you're the
gonna
one that's
die.
sad about Hot Frosty.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack. That's his name.
Were we supposed to laugh?
That Jack
The way you
Frost.
said it, you were like, Jack.
Jack
the Pumpkin King?
Frost. That's supposed to be. Anyway.
Oh, Jack Frost. I love that guy. Sorry, don't complain me playing the harmonica, just rocking out.
Oh man, the Michael
Another
Keaton movie.
snowman movie.
That would be
Yeah,
great
the
if they
Michael-
got together because there are.
Oh,
okay, when
it's like Jack Frost versus Jack Frost.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when they go to the. She's walking by the snowman competition. There are other snowmen. that
Oh,
are
and maybe Jack is there?
traditional
Hey,
snowmen.
hey,
That'd be cool.
Here's the thing. That like Michael Keaton's taking jobs that he said he was never going to take again. They could bring
Jack Frost too.
Jack Frost is
too.
probably one of those movies that like you like it's number one on Netflix in like November for some reason.
Oh,
You're
for
like,
sure.
why?
It always, yeah. It
They
always like,
can't
comes
make
up.
it two because he went to heaven at the end.
Well, I kept
What
saying
if
that
the snowman melts, revealing
Yeah.
George Clooney, and you're like,
So
oh,
it's a deep cut. That'd be like one of the alternate universes in like
yeah,
the Flash
like the
or
end of
something.
the Flash.
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
Jack Frost melts, reveal George Clooney.
Yeah.
But I kept saying like at the end of this movie, I'm like, something's gonna happen and he's gonna be reincarnated as her husband or something.
That
They
would be
wouldn't do
so
that.
grim. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I
Like
want to
ghoulish.
spoil a movie that I don't recommend you guys watch unless you've already seen it.
No.
The new Jack Frost. I got Jack Frost on the brain. The Dear Santa movie starring Jack Black, where he plays like
I'm not gonna watch
Satan.
that.
So it's all about. It reveals that the little kid's brother died, and that's why his family's kind of in shambles. At the end, the devil wishes his brother back to life, and it's a happy ending. That his brother comes back to life.
Yeah, that shouldn't be in movies.
Is he like a kind of like Gage Creed in Pet Cemetery?
Yeah,
come back to life?
It's just normal. And he's like, I'll grant you your one Christmas wish. And me and Emily were like, they're not gonna. No.
Wait, so death just can be reversed. You can't teach that to children.
That would be horrifying.
That's why I don't like the ending of. I think it's in the live action version of Frankenweenie as well, where at the end they're just like, we'll just bring him back to life. It's like you can't. You have to.
And I mean, even good like kids movies, like Cop Dog or like Jack Frost.
I'm sorry,
it's
Cop Dog.
Cop Dog
was the good
about
one.
a kid whose dad dies, who was a cop, and then he gets reincarnated into.
I just love how
not to be confused with Puchinsky, right?
And then the dog dies.
Have we seen Cop Dog? This is not a movie I've seen.
I've seen Cop Dog.
I love how like good kids movies, and then the first one you say is Cop Dog
because it's about a son dealing with grief, and the same as Jack Frost.
I feel like most kids movies are.
Do you think Jack Frost went to heaven or hell?
Oh, what, the harmonica one?
I haven't seen it in a while, but I feel like he floated up at the end.
Well,
wasn't he like, I'll see you every Christmas or something like that? I could have something like that.
I don't know, but I mean,
go back
and listen to our episode about that. But I feel like Michael Keaton was at least trying in that. Like he was like, okay, I'm a snowman. All right, I can get into character.
He wore like a big snowman suit on set.
Yeah.
No, he was like in a scarf in the recording studio or something.
Oh yeah, he's like only referring to me
hot in here.
Jack
and then
Frost.
he had them like lower the temperature in the recording studio.
Yeah,
because he's like, it's so hot in here.
No, he did it all on set in a big snowman costume. He wanted it to
like
be real.
Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, God.
What's that guy, Charles Fleischer?
Charles Fleischer.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's never done anything since then.
Yeah, exactly. Until he, like the almost
Zodiac
serial killer in Zodiac.
Hey, do you think that David Fincher cast him because he's like, I love Roger Rabbit?
Yes. No, he's like, this guy's terrible. He watched the making of, and he's like, this guy's terrifying.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, there's a scene at the end of this movie where it's like It's a Wonderful Life, where the whole town like puts money up for bail to save Jack.
He's melting and dying in like a
stupid.
prison cell.
Yeah, but there's no like special effect or anything like that.
No,
so
he's just sweating.
Yeah,
They couldn't afford that.
They could like just a smear, and he's like, oh, and like his eye is running down his cheek or something.
But I mean, I
was kind of happy he didn't melt. I would have found that very.
Well, as we saw in the credits, like there was a VFX team on it, but I'm sure it was just like
probably comping snow.
Wire removals,
for sure.
just basic,
Well, the thing is, like earlier on when she's like, it's at nighttime at the very beginning when she goes to like the snowman competition, they have that like kind of city hall in the background, and I thought it was the city hall from Back to the Future, like the clock tower.
Canada.
Yeah, and I was like,
turns out real town.
Oh shit! Is this like the Universal backlot?
Wait, what town is it?
I looked it up.
It was right outside of Ottawa.
Yeah, actually, you might know it.
Milton or something like that.
It's south of Ottawa,
like
and then they also shot in Ottawa apparently a little bit too.
When they showed it during the day, it's like,
isn't she in the big city at the beginning? No, she lives in the small town. There's like a montage set to Pretty Woman, isn't there? They got the money to pay.
Oh, that's right.
They got Pretty Woman money.
I'm sorry?
Pretty Woman money. A song that I do like. A movie I do not like.
It's probably like, you know how the way, like, it's probably not the original recording and they just get a sound alike. That's what The Simpsons would do all the time.
No, this is the
Roy
real deal.
Orbison. It sounded like Roy Orbison to me.
But they can just get a Roy Orbison sound alike because it costs cheaper because you buy
sounds
the
like
license.
Him.
Right.
No.
They got the traveling Wilbury himself.
I'm going to look to see if they actually got the...
Yeah, they did.
It was, I swear.
It was, and they even do like the little snap, like she's got the little...
but I
case.
do love a makeover montage in a movie. I'm a sucker for that. It's fun.
I feel like Pretty Woman was like the
spree.
kind of, set the mark for that. And then...
Yes. This is not even a parody of that in this movie.
No, it's like literally like shot for shot.
There's no.
Wait,
that
is it
is
Pretty
not
Woman
the
and
first...
Dumb and Dumber when they get a makeover montage?
Oh, it might. I don't know.
I think it
Maybe?
is. I think it is.
But when they're like, they're grinding.
It totally is.
They're
dude.
grinding their
They're
toenails.
grinding their toes.
Yeah, and then he like cuts him shaving, but it's just ketchup. Yeah.
Man, Dumb and Dumber, great movie. Don't watch the extended edition.
I gotta. We should watch that this Christmas because technically a Christmas movie.
Don't watch the extended edition. It's bad. And I think that may be the only available version right now.
Oh, really?
No way.
So dust off the DVD only has the extended. It doesn't have the theatrical version.
I have a DVD. I may have given away.
It's probably extended.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Emily, the extended soured it so much for Emily that she's like, I don't want to watch it again.
Well, I'm sure I can rent the original from iTunes or something.
Hopefully,
the theatrical. But yeah, the movie is over. Well, I mean, they get together in the end because Jack actually turns into a human.
I
somehow.
love how the city just
He's always been a human.
the city just accepts that he's dead. They're like, there's nothing we can do, and they all
Yeah,
start
they
walking
literally
away.
they just turn
he
around.
collapses on the fake snow, and then
They're just gonna walk away
"Sorry."
from his corpse on the ground.
Yeah. And then he just wakes up and it's like, I'm human. It's a bit of a cop out.
It's because their love, the town's love. He doesn't need the scarf anymore.
Isn't it like her tears or something like that bring him to life?
Yeah, probably whatever.
I mean,
But if he
love
leaves that
tears
town,
kisses him
he's
or
going to
something.
turn to dust again.
Well, at the end of the movie is him leaving it because they're going on a trip to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So it's like Jack Frost, too. The
Oh, God.
Killer Snowman
Yeah.
one.
I mean, after he is alive, then he teaches her to fix her house.
Yeah, for Christmas he gets her it's like house repair for dummies.
how to. Yeah.
And then she's down in the basement in a kind of mechanic suit.
Yeah.
She's got grease on her face. She's
It's
like, hey,
very
I was just
silly.
lazy all along.
Was that like a Die Hard? No, not a Die Hard. A Home Alone reference where it's like doesn't he go down and there's a scary
I don't
furnace?
think so, but
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sure. Her
Yeah.
furnace is broken.
I don't think it does the
I don't
same
think they
thing.
were thinking that. You know?
Yeah, it goes, "Arr."
But yeah, so the movie is over, and then of course we have bloopers, and
my
Craig
God.
Robinson sings a song.
I'm like, oh God, we're getting bloopers. And it's like, no, it's just Craig Robinson singing a
But then we
song.
do get bloopers.
And then we do get bloopers.
and
kind of.
I was laughing.
Yeah.
Tears in
Funnier-
your eyes.
Yeah,
Funnier than the movie.
My favorite thing is definitely the bloopers. But as I mentioned, I thought Craig Robinson was all right.
Yeah, he's fine. It's just
Justin, did you have any favorite thing?
Yeah,
about
I
this
said it was when he dies. That was my favorite thing. I don't think Colin picked something.
You
did
were laughing. You were standing up. No, I said I like that. It's uncynical.
Yeah, uncynical.
It has a
It has
good
a heart.
Good heart. Its heart is in the right
So
place.
Colin
It's
likes
very
it's
sweet.
a good movie.
It's I don't hate it. I don't dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine movie.
The
It's a
director-
very
Very
Sorry.
nice with me when I talked to him when we were leaving. He's like, "Oh man, have you seen Yellowstone?" And I went like,
Oh,
"Oh
God."
yeah." I went, "Oh yeah, it's a real." And I stopped myself, and he went, "Yeah, Dad show. I know."
I mean, yes.
Yes, that's
yes,
the
it
definition
is.
of it.
Okay.
Have you heard that Yellowstone, since Kevin Costner left, Taylor Sheridan made himself the main character of the
This is
show?
This is the
a
funniest
really
thing.
weird coincidence.
10 minutes before we started recording, I just on YouTube, I'm like, hey, here's a YouTube thing about the fall of Yellowstone. And I've never watched an episode
I've
of
never seen an
Yellowstone.
episode
No,
either.
me neither.
So
but we watched this
watched
whole
the entire video because when we were in Las Vegas, they had this Taylor Sheridan. It's like some
Steakhouse.
steakhouse, a Taylor Sheridan menu at the 4-6.
And we're like, what the fuck?
I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's like,
We looked it up. It turns out Taylor Sheridan bought a ranch related to the show somehow. Maybe they shoot there, and he was like, "Well, I have all these cows. I guess I have to.
I have to kill them and make them.
I have to make
Yes.
steaks now to make it profitable. Maybe I don't know.
I don't
but,
know.
So now he
Whatever.
has a steak.
I know
house in Vegas.
nothing about him other than he's full of himself and he writes.
I know people like those shows, but I'm not.
Oh, no one really
never
likes them
watching
anymore, I
them.
don't think.
Yeah.
Like my dad was watching it and he kind of got tired of it. He's like, it's too mean.
Well, my dad as well, and he's like, "Oh, the prequel, the 1406 is
Yeah.
great." blah,
Harrison
blah, blah. But
Ford
I think
and Helen Mirren.
he likes Tulsa King too.
That guy writes every
seen
show.
that?
Yeah, well, that
Justin?
guy, it's a big issue where he's like, he was anti-writer strike because he's like, oh, it's just me. I don't need a writer's room.
Yeah.
It's like, cool dude.
Yeah, you got some $300 million contract, but
Yeah.
it was like a 8-show contract or something.
Yep.
So he
How is he still alive?
He writes every episode for every show.
Well, and he stars now in his own show.
Yeah, but
and
he
like
just,
all the
like,
women are like, "Oh, you're so hot, man." Like,
but he just he has a writer's room where he just locks himself in this room for a day and writes 3
Yeah.
episodes a day or something,
But,
just to fulfill his contractual obligations.
Tulsa King, I might that's the only one out of his 15 shows I would ever consider watching because I like Sly Stallone, and it's not a western. sorry. I just, as we've said, like, I find Westerns horribly boring.
He looks really horrifying in that show.
I know. I kind of want to watch it, though. He becomes like a small town drug kingpin or something.
I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, I love Sylvester Stallone, but I'm not.
I'm just saying, I could see me checking it out. But I got enough things to watch. And like Hot Frosty. Okay, so the movie is over. As you guys
this is like the third time you say the movie's over.
You all know. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
You've all probably seen it, or your wives or girlfriends have made you see it. But yeah, my recommendation is it's worth watching once if you want to just put it on for the holidays as something kind of silly to watch. Not as good as, like I said, something like Happiest Season. That's like legitimately funny. This is like more like amusing.
But if you like baking stuff, put it on the background.
Yeah, it's not offensive, but it's also like not great. But it's all right. It's okay. And that's it for the Christmas movies. Thank you everybody for joining us for this year. Because this is the last, I think this is the last main episode to come out this year, I believe. So yeah, thank you for joining us for 2024, and I hope everybody has a great holiday season. And if you want to email us, we're at nosuchthingsaBadmovie@gmail.com, and we're on Twitter, Bluesky, and Instagram at nosuchthingpod. We're also on YouTube, and consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/nosuchthingsaBadmovie. If you are subscribed to the $5 level, then you'll get a bonus episode every 2 weeks. We just did a little roundup episode on video games we've been playing recently. So that's always fun because, hey, we don't just watch movies and TV shows. We also play video games sometimes.
We play video games. We paint the walls.
We're just like you.
Watch movies.
Do an absolute paint job.
I don't appreciate
I've never heard
these
that
jokes.
expression before.
It's
Really?
Tim Robinson.
It's Tim Robinson.
That's Mud Pie is Tim Robinson too.
No, it's a Netflix show called The Characters. He did one episode where, oh my God, he's trying to buy a gun. It's so fucking funny.
Tim Robinson, funny guy.
Yeah.
Also,
Craig
Robinson's pretty funny too.
Not as funny.
Not quite as funny, but he's all right.
Craig Robinson versus Tim Robinson.
Yeah. Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh man, it's back.
Celebrity mud
That'd be
back,
weird.
yeah.
Celebrity
Celebrity paint jobs.
Oh, so they're just shitting.
Who's is worse?
All right.
And if you want to find me, I'm on Bluesky and Instagram at April Atmansky.
You can follow me on Bluesky. It's Justin Declue, Declue J, DECLOUX, letter J, and you can tune in every couple of weeks for the very fine comic book podcast. You need a new book to read? Listen to us. We'll recommend the good stuff.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about paint jobs. Never mind.
All right.
We
got to move on.
You can follow me on Twitter and Bluesky. It's Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys all have a hot frosty this holiday season.
What could that possibly
I was saying
mean?
hot frosty sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah, the thing that happens right before you paint the wall.
Although it makes me think of Wendy's Frosties, which are like those like chocolate malt things, which are pretty good.
I mean, I don't want a hot frosty. Ooh, my mouth, it's too hot.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
but that's the joke.
Down in the bathroom, I gotta have a hot frosty. Oh!
Anyway,
Right,
thanks for
enough of
joining
that.
us.
We're a clean podcast.
Thanks for
Okay,
joining us.
sorry.
I'm April Atmansky.
I'm Justin Declue.
No, and I'm hot frosty.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.